I'm Natalie. I'm founder and director of Natalie Hewitt Events, a UK-based wedding and party planning company, and this is my series, How to Plan a Wedding. I'm going to be interviewing my industry friends to find out how they got into the industry, what's really involved in delivering a wedding, and they're going to share some fantastic advice to help you plan your wedding. Now, these interviews aren't designed to be too long. I want you to be able to listen to them on your commute to work, whilst you're walking the dog, or during your lunch break. I've worked in the industry since 2012 and I live and breathe events, but I completely understand that for a newly engaged couple, the whole process can be incredibly overwhelming. So during our conversations, we're going to introduce you to the wonderful world of weddings. We're going to let you know what to expect when dealing with each supplier category, and we're going to share some fantastic advice to guide you through the process. I'm Natalie Hewitt, and I hope you enjoy the series. Today's episode is How to Plan a Wedding with Kelly Dawn Bridal, an award-winning hair and makeup agency working on multicultural weddings across the globe. They've been featured in Vogue, Tatler, amongst many others, and they are named Best UK Hair and Makeup Artists by Harper's Bazaar. Kelly herself specialises in red carpet and bridal makeup, having worked backstage at fashion weeks around the world. She's painted the faces of celebrities and Hollywood actresses, including Kate Moss, Emma Thompson, and Stella McCartney, and she brings this glam to her bridal clients. Victoria is head stylist at Kelly Dawn Bridal and is one of the most sought-after hairstylists in Europe. She creates versatile looks with a more relaxed and timeless direction. She's so calm, she's super cool, and she's really amazing at looking after her brides in the morning of their wedding. Hi guys, thank you so much for joining and
Thanks
coming.
for having us.
I'm going to enjoy really chatting with you about hair and makeup because I think that is such an important thing for a bride to, as probably almost as well as the wedding dress. They think about the wedding dress and it's hair and makeup. Yeah. That's their look. I want to know first how you got into the industry.
Sure, okay. Well, I'll start. I've been in hairstyling now for over 15 years. I started as a hairstylist in central London, cutting hair, really enjoying it, but feeling like I wanted to do more on the styling side. So I started to do a bit more in fashion, Paris Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, working on some big campaigns and traveling around the world. But I always felt like I didn't have as much creative direction as I wanted doing that. And then gradually I started to do weddings here and there for my clients whose hair I was cutting, and realized that I really enjoyed it. It was such a nice day to be a part of, such positive energy and such a special moment to share with someone. And at the time, I feel like bridal hair kind of had a bad name. It was always kind of associated with this very hairsprayed,
80s,
done up, 80s kind of look. And 8 or 9 years ago when I first started my own business with that, I kind of brought to it a more fashion, cool girl kind of inspiration, which at the time no one else was really doing. So that's kind of how I built my brand and where I started. And I think it's just progressed slowly over the years.
I mean, you have such a fantastic reputation, as do you, Kelly.
Thank you.
When did you start in the world of makeup?
Okay, well, similar to Victoria, I've been a makeup artist for 16 years now, so I've sort of done lots of different things within the industry, primarily working within sort of beauty, fashion, and bridal. I've worked with a number of brands, including Dior, Charlotte Tilbury, Tom Ford. I've worked in product development, so actually creating products and beauty campaigns, fashion weeks around the world like Victoria, red carpet events. But now I really sort of specialize in those two areas, which is red carpet and bridal. And actually those two areas are very similar in a way, because whether you're going to walk down the aisle or walk onto the red carpet, you need to look and feel like your most beautiful and confident self. You need to look good up close and in front of potentially millions. So that's on, in real life, but also in high definition filming and photography. And like Victoria said, what I love the most about both red carpet and bridal is that I get to be a part of that really intimate space. I mean, we talk about being a hair and makeup artist, you really get to be in that kind of space, especially on someone's wedding day, where you're with their family and you're going to be the last person that they probably are in contact with before they sort of walk down the aisle. So really important that you can bring that kind of calm and pampering influence in what you do as well.
I imagine they quite like the fact that they can have that red carpet moment on their wedding day.
Absolutely, yeah.
So is it quite, is the majority of your work actually at the wedding itself, or is there any work that's involved beforehand? When a couple are inquiring, or a bride, or do you ever do groom makeup at all?
We do.
We
yes.
do.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely done a few man buns.
Yes, exactly. Definitely hair. Our hairstylists work on a lot of the grooms and the bridal party and the groomsmen. But makeup has been a lot more common for gentlemen over the last kind of 5 years.
Yeah.
I'd say like 95% of my grooms are taking a little bit of glam now.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I think
That's
they have to
amazing.
be kind of
Yeah.
persuaded into it sometimes.
Oh, I don't
and
think there's
then they
much
love
persuasion these days. It's like a little bit of brightening eye drops, maybe just simply grooming their brows. Some of them I've done like, a little bit of foundation or blemish covering. They're loving it. I had a groom last year that had a black eye.
Oh no.
It was a bit of a wild welcome party.
Oh no.
And we did a fantastic job covering his black eye. I've had a groom that had his mustache, not by our team, but he was barbered badly the day before the wedding. And so we had to draw on his mustache on the wedding day as well.
Wow.
So lots of tricks up our
There you
sleeves
go.
for the
Not
grooms.
just for the
where
bride.
needed.
Not just the
exactly.
bride.
Yeah, and I think everybody wants to look great in the photos and the video as well. So actually having a bit
Exactly.
of glam is nice, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Exactly.
So when I keep saying couples, but when brides typically reach out to you for their wedding, what's that process?
I think, so if a bride's looking to book a hair and makeup team, the first kind of place to start is thinking about inspiration. So think about what kind of look you want for your wedding day. You can find a lot of inspiration on social media. You can look on Instagram, TikTok. You can make a Pinterest board, a mood board, and sort of think about how you're going to want to look and feel on that day. And once you've kind of had to think about what that looks like, you need to find a stylist or an artist that sort of their work aligns with the style that you're looking to achieve. And then, of course, reaching out and finding out if they are available on your date. I always say try to get your team booked in as soon as possible, because with wedding season, obviously those kind of Friday, Saturday, weekend dates from May to September, any in-demand artist might have 5 to 10 bridal inquiries for that same day. So the further in advance you can book in, the more likely you're going to get the vendors that you're wanting to work with.
Yeah, I always say to my couples, once we've set the date, photography, videography, and hair and makeup, let's get those booked in, because they're the ones that just are so busy, and we don't really need to have created mood boards as such, other than putting that inspiration together for your glam look.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we have a lot of clients at Kelly Dawn Bridal that will book us for international bookings. So we won't actually have the opportunity to necessarily do a trial ahead of the wedding. So what we'll do is a looks design consultation over the phone.
A bride, when she's looking for a hairstylist or a makeup artist, she sends you an email. She might send you a few inspirational images to say, this is the look that I'm going for. Are you available on my date? What's your price point? How do I get you booked in?
Exactly. And due to the demand for our services and the fact that those kind of key wedding weekends are limited, we do offer a team as well, which are available at different price points. So some weddings will have our head hair and makeup artists along with multiple pro hairstylists and makeup artists working alongside them. And then other weddings that are working on more of a budget might request to have a more junior but equally talented hair and makeup artist. So we try to offer and accommodate different packages to suit everybody's needs.
And I like that about your agency, because you've vetted everybody before. So if I came to you and said, I'm looking for a hair and makeup artist, but I can only spend X amount, I know that who you're going to recommend from your team is amazing regardless.
Yeah, we try to choose people that have worked with us before, and we've worked alongside them and looked at their work and really studied how they work and their end results.
Exactly.
I understand I know the answer. I understand why they want to, but a lot of my brides will say, can I have a trial first to decide if I want to proceed with this hairstylist or makeup artist, because it's not something they have regularly, if ever. I think they feel a little bit nervous about what to expect, and if they're actually going to like it, I think their thought is that they might have their makeup done and it's going to feel too heavy, or they're not going to like it, so they want to have that trial before committing. And I appreciate that you guys are so busy. You get insanely large amounts of inquiries, so you have to work on a first come, first served basis. But what advice would you give to a bride who asks that, and what is the trial process later on down the line once they've confirmed with you?
So we would say that it's really good to maybe have a Zoom consultation, or if we can't meet in person, which usually is difficult. If someone's booking us a year in advance and we're in the middle of our busy wedding season, it's very hard to squeeze in a trial. So we'd like to maybe organise a Zoom consultation and meet them online if we can. And that way we can get to see if we have a connection. Hopefully they can understand a bit more about us and our level of experience as well. And then we can book the trial a bit closer to the time.
I think sometimes there's probably no point in having a trial before you've thought about the full bridal look anyway.
Yeah. I think for hair especially, the gowns and the outfits do play a big part in how you design the hair look. So until you have everything kind of in place for that, for me, I think the hair trial wouldn't really be relevant until we've got.
You want to know what veil they're going to choose, what the
veil,
dress neckline
what the
looks like.
neckline is, what the detailing is of the material, things like that. They can all kind of influence how the hair can look.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your hair and makeup team, I think a lot of people don't realize this upon booking, but your hair and makeup team are actually going to be in that intimate space with you on your wedding day. Depending on how many services you've booked in, we might be there with you for a full 8 hours, and we will be the last people that you're sitting with before you're going to walk down the aisle. So it's really important not only that you establish that connection in terms of the appreciation for their work and their style that's going to match your personality and your preferences, but also that they're going to feel like they're a good fit for you and your family.
They've got that calming influence.
Exactly. And yeah, they're going to keep you calm and give you that really warm, pampering experience before you walk down the aisle. Yeah. I mean, it feels like as a hair and makeup artist, we end up often doing a lot more than just hair and makeup on the day. We've done meditation and deep breathing for brides that have had panic attacks. We've
make sure they've been fed, watered.
Yeah, pop the champagne.
I know how to corset a dress.
Victoria is very good. She's a stylist, I think. She's always putting brides in their dresses. So yeah, we're kind of there to be on your team, really, to help you get ready and make the most of that morning. Girls always know getting ready for a night out, getting ready for a night out with your girls, half the fun is the getting ready, right?
Yeah.
So we just make sure, the champagne's popped at the right moment.
The music's playing. You always bring your speaker.
I know. So
good idea.
And I think as well, wedding planners are obviously there to run your day, to design your wedding, and obviously working with you, we see how you do that to perfection. But often on that morning of the wedding, you'll be out making sure all the different vendors are in place and that the bride and groom's kind of dream is coming to fruition. So often it's kind of our responsibility to make sure that we're keeping them
hand the reins over,
calm, exactly.
Look after my couple, yeah.
And kind of reminding them what's happening next. So a lot of times when you're there and you've not been in a wedding before, you've not been a bride before, I mean, some have the second time around, but you're not always remembering what's happening next. So it's okay, now it's time to get on your dress. And I think your photographer's coming soon. He's going to want to take some portraits, reminding them what's happening next and kind of guiding them through the journey. So
I think a lot of nerves come from just not knowing what to expect and the anticipation. And I probably think that 50% of your decision to book a stylist or makeup artist is based on their portfolio of work.
Yes.
And the other 50% is if you've got that connection with them, because they are going to be the ones that will look after you in the morning of your wedding.
You have to trust them.
Yeah. So yeah.
And when you talk about anxiety, I think Victoria's probably heard me say this 100 times, but a lot of brides use that word on the wedding day, and I try to reframe it a little bit, because anxiety and excitement feel really similar. And actually when you're sitting there and you're having your makeup done and you see everything going on outside and the wedding is coming to life, that's actually excitement. So I try to remind them that this is just excitement. It's going to be great, and that's what we're there kind of to be their cheerleaders.
Yeah.
So to Victoria's point, arranging a Zoom call in advance can really help you establish that connection and start getting excited about your hair and makeup looks. And if you feel comfortable to then proceed with the booking, you can get your artist locked in and then potentially book in a looks design in person at a later date outside of peak wedding season, and maybe at a time where you're going to be able to make use of the glam.
And what can a bride expect from a looks design? I know some people call it trials, but you phrased it as looks design, which I think is so much nicer because you're not trying yourselves out, you're working with them to develop that look.
And it's very much a collaborative thing. So we like to ask the brides to come with some images of the different outfits that they're going to be wearing throughout their wedding day or for their different events. And then anything that they want to try, so any like different makeup looks, different hair designs, along with any kind of hair accessories that we might have to consider. And then once we've looked at all of that, we'll then also give our own recommendations on what we think is most suitable for their hair, their skin type, also things like where they're getting married, for example, because that can play quite a big point in how we design the hair. For example, like if it's a really humid and hot location, they might not want to wear their thick hair that can have a tendency to be frizzy down and out. So we can kind of work all these factors in. And then we design a few looks, and as I say, very collaboratively, and see how, did I say collaboratively?
Collaboratively. I think
we design the looks together and then see how we like them. And one thing I would say is very important is to take photos at the end of each look that we've designed, because I think hair and skin can look different on camera as it can like into the naked eye, and you want it to look good with both. So we like to take videos, and then it's also something that they can take home with them to reference and to show friends and family as well.
And do you think that it's ever handy to have your hair and makeup trial before going to a dress fitting?
If you can coincide the two, it would be really,
or
really
going out
good.
for dinner.
Going out for dinner, going to the dress fitting if possible, just so then you can test run it and see how it kind of lasts for the next few hours.
Yeah. How long are the trials usually? Because I've never been to a proper hair and makeup trial. I didn't have a makeup artist on my wedding day. I did it myself.
Oh, where were we?
I know. Well, I didn't know you then. I wasn't a planner. I wasn't in this world. Yes. So hindsight's a wonderful thing. But so do you just do like one look, or do you do multiple looks until they're happy?
I would say, from me personally, from a hair point of view, we would maybe try 2 to 3 looks maximum, just because there's only so much product and curling and restyling hair can take. But I would say that hopefully before that, we've had such an in-depth and good consultation that we really have narrowed down the different looks that we're going to be trying, so that actually ultimately we only need to try those 3 looks, and then we've kind of got it.
Is that quite similar with makeup?
Yeah, and I think every bride is so different. A huge proportion of our brides are international clients, so we're finding more and more we're doing weddings in south of France and Italy, and a lot of our clients, we don't actually get the opportunity to have an in-person looks design before the wedding. So one of our service offerings is now, with people booking multi-day weddings, we will often set some time aside for the looks design at the day of their welcome party. So we'll have already spoken to them in advance, got to know our brides via video call, and created some mood boards. We'll definitely, we have our glam chats with them, so we know exactly what we're going to do, and then we take the time to design those looks kind of then at the day before the wedding. And then the way we work is we're there for the full day, so we would then often change that look up for the evening, so they're ready for the welcome party. You'd have a different look for your wedding day, and now we're finding brides are having second and third looks. So certainly the looks design, to answer your question, can be kind of a 2-hour session, but it can also be different for every bride. Some brides are very happy once they know that their artist knows how to work with their skin type and hair type, and can kind of trust on the variations of colors that they're going to design for them on the day. And some want to know exactly what they're going to be doing for each look. So we cater that based on the individual's needs.
Amazing. And talking of skin type, do you share any advice with your brides on things to do before, like, running up to the wedding? What can I do to look after my skin or make sure my hair's ready?
Yeah, we like to kind of offer a bespoke prescription, usually at the trial, where we'll kind of break down what are the best things to do for skin and hair in the run up to the wedding event. So for hair, for example, that can look like when to get your hair cut, how to get it cut to suit the hairstyle.
No layers.
Depends.
Okay.
Also, sometimes I quite often end up cutting people's hair on the wedding day, which is also something I offer. So
Yeah.
I can cut around the hairstyles that they're having. But like where to have colour, when to have colour, and even things like upgrading their hair care routine. So improving their shampoo, conditioner, weekly treatments, and maybe like laying off heat and any kind of chemical processes in the lead up to their wedding.
Yeah. Anything with makeup?
Yeah, I certainly, my biggest advice I give to brides, and I give this very strictly, is do not try anything right before your wedding.
Yeah.
I have seen over my years of experience, I've seen disasters with tan, with facials, with eyebrow laminations, with lash
Botox.
curling. Yes, those type of things as well. And
All give it time.
It happens when a bride is right before the wedding, wanting to try something new to make themselves look and feel amazing, and they end up in a worse off situation. So anything that you do want to try ahead of your wedding, I recommend to try it well before that 6 months mark, so you can kind of trial and test it. If you do want to work with a tan artist, there are some great ones out there. Try it first. If you're wanting to do something like a facial, do your research, find something that's right for you, and I can also help consult on that. But sometimes just having a really basic and good skincare routine that you can do at home is more than enough. And simple things like, I often say to my brides in the lead up to the wedding, like, buy one of those big water jugs from Amazon that like encourages you to drink water throughout the day, because simply drinking water is a really great way to stay healthy and hydrated, and the effects that has on your skin and hair is amazing, and it's free. So that's my strict rule. Nothing new before the wedding.
That's good advice, because
And I
that's
give
the
that
thing I
advice,
would do.
and people still break it sometimes.
You said to me, drinking and being hydrated is almost as good as a facial, right?
I think so, yeah. I mean, if you're really dehydrated and you're not getting enough water and enough sleep, that plays a major effect on your skin. Now, sleep is not always going to be something you can help in the lead up to a wedding, especially if you've got travel and events and pre-parties and hen-dos. So water is one thing you can do. So, that makes a really big difference.
Yeah. So we've talked about the trial, we've talked about our care regime leading up to the wedding. I've woken up, it's the morning of my wedding. How is today going to run?
So this is something we often talk to brides about when we're having a consultation on looks design, just to kind of let them know what that day is going to look like. Depending on what they've booked, obviously some of our brides want a really intimate service, so it might just be that they want hair and makeup just for them, maybe for them and one special person, whether that's a mother, a sister, an auntie, or a friend. And that would be great for one person. For someone else, it would be they want 12 bridesmaids, everyone in the room, music going. So really think about what is going to feel good for you on the wedding day. For me, my ideal scenario would be to have my own space on a wedding morning so that I can kind of chill and have a pamper, but also could enter the room with my girls and kind of join the party as well. So that's my recommendation, but everyone needs to think about what that getting ready space is going to look like. And then for us, we would provide a hair and makeup schedule, your glam schedule. And usually we recommend the bride, if there is, multiple bridesmaids or guests having hair and makeup before them, we would have the bride go last. That way the bride can enjoy her morning, have a little bit of beauty rest. Yeah, exactly.
Also then her hair and makeup is the freshest.
The most fresh, exactly.
And she can have some breakfast. Please don't forget to eat.
Exactly.
You need your energy so she can eat, and then...
Yeah,
exactly. Especially in the morning, because I think brides do and grooms lose their appetite and don't often get to have that delicious food that they've had at the food tasting.
Yeah.
Because they're so nervous and excited. So it's making sure that they have a really good plan for their morning and what that's going to look like. But yeah, for us, I mean, as I said, sometimes it's bride only, and we've also catered events doing hair and makeup now for up to 100 guests. So that would be working with teams of assistants, setting up a blow dry bar if needed, Or, our kind of most standard is having the bride plus bridesmaids, mother the bride, mother the groom, and that's really fun. So yeah, that would be sort of a schedule of them coming in and having their appointments, and then the bride being last. And as I said before, the hair and makeup artists are sort of the people that are with you right to that moment where you're going to get into your dress. And then right at that moment where you're going to walk down the aisle, we're usually there with, Victoria, your hairstylist will be fitting your veil, making sure that that's secure. Your makeup artist will be making sure you're looking good from head to toe. So body makeup on any areas that are showing. Final powder before you walk down the aisle. And then often a little bit of a touch-up just after the ceremony as well, just in case Aunt Sally is giving you a big red lipstick mark on the cheek. Or if you've had a particularly teary ceremony. I mean, we do use waterproof mascara, so usually nothing budges, but just knowing that your team is there to keep you refreshed throughout the day is really important. So that's a service that a lot of people are looking for now, as well as having those looks changes for different hair and makeup looks.
Veil removal, or we can be there during the photo shoot to keep hair in place, anything.
And if a couple haven't got a wedding planner, what items would you ask them to provide for you? So you'll arrive a little bit earlier, set up before doing their makeup. Are there any key items that you would ask them to provide? Like maybe have the makeup table set up near a window, or are there certain things that they can just ensure that either they've considered at the venue or at their private home if they're getting married there?
We're pretty good. Our kits are around 35 kilograms and we've become quite strong at lugging them around. So we do have most things inside, even for me, including a small mirror now. But personally, I think for both of us, we would like ideally some kind of table and chair situation.
That's pretty much it.
And the rest we can make do with what's available.
Natural light is ideal, but I also bring my own lighting as well, because we've done touch-ups into the evening where it's pitch black and we're working under a beauty light, so we're pretty
we've been on boats,
we're pretty simple when it comes to that.
We've done it all. Stuff. So it's fine.
And I love the fact that you stay if they need you to sort of do touch-ups and change of looks, which is a very common thing now, to get changed into the evening. And having been at weddings where my brides have had second looks, there is always that rush. And I always go in and I always feel really guilty about how long are we going to be, because we want to be doing the first dance. So I suppose really scheduling that into your wedding day plans.
And that's something that we talk to our brides about, because we love doing looks changes. Of course, for us, it's fun to be able to, especially when brides are more often now changing into 1 or 2 or even 3 dresses. It's fun for us to be able to completely change their look. And makeup is quite quick, I find, in terms of you can do, dial up the eye, add a bit of liner. You can really take the skin from sort of daylight to candlelight, so that and make sure it's fresh, so it lasts all night long. Hair can be a little bit more complex, I think, depending on what they're wanting. So it's just about being realistic. I know you talk a lot to brides about that.
We obviously discuss that in the trials, and if they want to go, for example, from an updo from the wedding day down to a Hollywood wave in the evening, it is going to take a good 40 minutes. And I always use the analogy, like, how long does it take to bake a cake? Like, you can't shorten that time, because you have to take the hair down and you have to recurl the hair and set the hair. But as long as they know those expectations and they have those expectations, and the planner is also aware of those timings, then we're there to do whatever needs to be done. I mean, equally, I did a snatched party ponytail in 7 minutes the other day, and it was kind of like an iconic 7-minute snatch.
And that's the thing, you really do need to think about your priorities. Like, we have brides like, well, your fireworks are going off at 11 o'clock, so if you want that looks change but you're also enjoying something at your party, you come late. Like, it's thinking about how long do you want to step away from your wedding. So maybe it is thinking with your hairstylist, what's a quick change that you can do? Maybe it's not Hollywood waves for the evening, although we love to do it if we can, but if a quick pony is also going to work and get you back out to your party a little bit quicker and be a bit more realistic, then we're happy to suggest that as well.
So maybe thinking, what is the look that you really want? Is that look more important than
spending time with your guests?
Which is, for some brides, absolutely. I want the second look. I want to have those Hollywood curls. I want to look fabulous.
Exactly.
For this change of outfit. And being away for 40, 50 minutes whilst you're having your hair redone and your makeup touched up is absolutely fine for them. But as long as they're aware and they've shared that information with, if they don't have a planner, if they've shared that information with the coordinator or whomever needs to know.
And oftentimes they'll bring a girlfriend with them, and that can be quite a nice moment as well. But I mean, 40 minutes is not a regular look change for us. Usually we aim to get you turned around within 7 to 10 minutes, like a quick refresh on the skin, dial up the eyes. Like Victoria said, often going from hair down to a quick party ponytail, things like that are really quick. It's just depending, you know, what the bride wants to do, and just thinking about the timelines. But we advise all that. That's a really important part of the looks design process.
So if you could just give one piece of advice to your brides about anything to do with hairstyling, what would it be?
I think it's really important to find a hair and makeup team that are going to work with you and really collaborate on creating a look with you. When I'm working on a photo shoot or with a model, then I might have full creative liberties to do whatever look that I want to do. But when I'm working with a bride, it's very much about designing a look that makes them feel like the best version of themselves. And so I think a lot of brides will go to a trial and kind of be handed a mirror at the very end of their consultation, and they think it doesn't feel like themselves. So very much I say to every bride, as we go through the consultation, I'm going to do this in like different stages. So from skin to brows to eyes, lips, and finishing touches. And I'm going to ask them, you know, be picky and tell me, do you want a little bit more blush? Do you want your freckles to shine through? Do you feel more comfortable with full coverage? So I think that's what's really important, is find someone that you feel confident with, that you can be picky with, that you can design a look that feels like you. Because ultimately your wedding day look shouldn't be something that's necessarily super trending at the moment, like an Instagram brow or like a fully laminated brow that might not be timeless and might not be something that you look back on in 20 years. You just want to look like your healthy, natural, glowing self.
And would you have anything to suggest for hair?
I totally agree with Kelly on all of those points. I think also just to make sure you choose a hair and makeup artist who have a body of work that really resonates with you, and they show that they have done weddings before, and the styles and makeup looks are something that you really, really align with.
And I think something that Victoria and I talk about a lot is that it's also important to work with a team that know weddings, because the makeup that we do on a photo shoot is very different than the makeup we do on a wedding. Photo shoots, you might put on more makeup, you might add more gloss, and ultimately you're working under big studio lights, so the makeup is totally different, and doesn't matter if it lasts all day. It just needs to look good in that photo on set. Whereas when you're working with a bride, the way the hair is prepped is super important, so that it lasts throughout the day. When you're partying, that your curls don't fall out. When you're working in humid environments, that your hair is prepped in the right way. Same with makeup. You know, they've used the right skin prep so that your makeup lasts throughout the day. So I think that's
like
really
an entirely
important.
different skill set, basically.
And I think having the experience on how a day is going to run, so that you can be there to support the bride as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for your time. I'm finishing all of my interviews by doing a quick fire round question, Q&A. I would like to just get to know you a little bit better. So are you up for it?
Yes.
Okay, let's ask you some questions then. Okay, so I'm going to ask Vic first, and then Kelly the same question. And you can't think about it for too long. Okay. Favourite holiday destination?
Portugal.
South of France.
Tea or coffee drinker?
Coffee, big time.
Tea. I've never had a cup of coffee in my life.
Me neither. People keep trying to get me to drink it.
Weirdos.
Tea all the way. Are you a night owl or an early bird?
Early riser.
Yeah.
I'm a mother, so both.
Yeah, me too. But exhausted.
Yeah.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Ooh, wine.
Yeah.
Wine and popcorn, usually with Victoria after a long day.
Yeah. Do you have a weird celebrity crush?
Who's the guy that played Ken in Barbie?
Oh, Ryan
Gosling.
Yeah.
Oh,
what?
It's not that weird.
No,
I
it's
guess
not
that's
weird.
very average.
No, well, celebrity crush. Yeah.
I always quite fancied Luke Evans, and I did get to do his makeup.
Did you really?
For the red carpet for the British Fashion Awards, so fangirling.
Very nice. We're going karaoke. What's your song of choice?
Oh my god. Natalie and Bruglia Torn.
Yeah, good song.
Oh, Dancing in the Moonlight, only because it keeps my baby girl happy.
Yeah, I love that song. What's your favourite food?
Pizza.
Pizza.
Margarita, because I'm vegetarian.
Yes, I love a good margarita.
Yeah, classic.
Just good mozzarella. Yeah.
Breakfast.
In general.
Eggs.
Yeah,
I say
eggs. I
eggs
love my
is yours.
breakfast. Full English breakfast for me.
Yeah, fry up. Okay, last question. You've won the big bucks on the lottery. What's the first thing you're going to buy?
I will buy my family each a house.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I can't use that one now, can I? I'd probably, first thing that came to mind, I should say what came to mind. I'd probably go like on an all-inclusive holiday with all my aunties and my mummy and my best friends.
Oh,
Girls'
that's
trip.
lovely. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been lovely to see you
really
again.
fun.
Can't wait to work with you in the future.
Thank you
it's
so much.
always a pleasure.
Thank you. We love working with you.
See you soon. Congratulations on your engagement and good luck with your wedding planning. I hope you've enjoyed our conversation today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, basically all of the buttons below, and stay tuned for more in the series as I talk to my industry friends to guide you through the process of how to plan a wedding.